Welcome to the Wakefield Doctrine, the theory of clocks, Scots, and Rogers. It's a return of Video Friday, and we have a special treat. Friend of the Doctrine, Mel, over at Teachable, is back to his old tricks with a podcast, whatever the hell that is. So never to be one to slack on imitating our friend Mel. We're going to do a podcast out of Video Friday, which is like kind of convoluted, but these are clocks, of Post Today being read to you out loud with lips moving by DS1. So DS1, would you begin the podcastation?
Certainly, and with the title, which is Let's Do This Thing. The interviews, the Wakefield Doctrine. Please choose the answer that you most agree with. I am a Clark, I am a Scott, I am a Roger. Break's over, people. Let's get back to work. Here's the premise. We are looking over the shoulder of the interviewee that we met in the previous three scenarios as they go into the interview. There will be three choices of actions for each, hopefully characteristic of the three personality types. Pick the one that you think will increase the interviewee's chance for success. If you feel there are better, more appropriate personality type actions, let us know right away and we will alter the post. You will, of course, need to present sound reasoning to justify the change. So, interview room A. Framed diplomas on the wall behind the overly ornate wood desk, semi-leather upholstered chair with a high back, photos of family looking adoringly towards the camera, and one of those tricky kinetic motion desk toys. And on the wall opposite the desk, two inspirational posters. Soar with the Beagles, and one of the cat looking in a mirror and seeing a lion. The office of a Roger. Interviewed room B. A poster, in a cheap frame, of Neuschwanstein Castle, a child's crayon drawing showing the outside of the restaurant, and four stick-figure people hang on the wall behind the desk, which in actuality is a folding banquet table. Covered with papers and a box of fresh aprons, there is among the catalogs and invoices pads. There is among the catalogs and invoices and pads a computer, a cordless phone recharger base, and one of those stacked in-box-out-box. The chair behind the desk has duct tape on the back, and on the wall opposite the desk hangs a calendar from a wholesale food supplier, with big X's through each day past. The office of a Scott. Interview room 2. The wall behind the rectangular conference table is, in fact, a picture window that looks out over the factory floor, specifically the welding section. To the right of the conference table, which has two chairs on one side and one chair opposite, there is a low coffee table with a couch and two chairs. There's nothing on the wall, which is a faded brown paneling that was once meant to look like mahogany, except a framed poster that says, "Plant safety is no accident." It shows two cartoon factory workers wearing hard hats and ear protection, but the faces are featureless ovals. The office of no one, being used by a Roger and a Clark. So, you, a Clark, walk into room A. The interviewer is already seated behind his desk. You, 1, walk to the chair in front of the desk and sit down, and only then look at the interviewer and say, "Hello, glad you could meet with me." 2, once through the doorway, but without walking further into the room, you stand and you wait for acknowledgement and an invitation to sit. 3, walk up to the chair, but do not sit immediately. Instead, you look around the room in a praising manner. Now, you, a Roger, walk into room B. The interviewer shouts from the kitchen area of the restaurant, "Make yourself at home. We'll be right with you." You, number 1, stand outside the office, smiling and making sure that you appear to prefer to wait for the owner to go into the office first. 2, walk into the office and begin to straighten things up, just a little. Clear off your chair, restack a pile of papers that are about to spill on the floor. Or 3, walk in, sit down, and begin to text your friend, who you promised that you would tell all about the interview. Now, you, a Scott, walk into room 2. On one side of the conference table is a man who was your boss the last time you worked there, and a young woman who you don't know. The man is simply looking at you. The woman is busy with the iPad on the table in front of her and doesn't even look up. You walk up to the table and address the young woman. I worked here a couple of years ago, but I don't know you. Or 2, walk in, sit down, nod to your former boss, and simply wait. Or 3, walk in, sit down, and say, all right, let's talk about my job. The first question from the interviewer in room A: so why do you believe that you will be an asset to our company? 1, I believe that my qualifications speak for itself. The depth of my education is enhanced by the variety of my previous work experiences. 2, you tell me. You saw my resume along with the application and you offered me this interview. From what I've seen so far, I'm kind of asking myself the same question. Or number 3, well, everything I have seen so far today makes me believe that this is just the kind of company I've been looking for. And because of that, I will be only an asset to your team. The first question from the interviewer in room B: so why the hell do you want to work in a restaurant? 1, laugh. That question is exactly what I would like working here. Well, but wait a minute. Laugh. That question is exactly why I would like work. 2, you frown. I'm beginning to wonder that myself. 3, with a smile. Is that your only question? Come on, let's get to work. Some customers just walked in. It's getting busy again. The first question from the interviewer in room 2: so why should we believe that you will not be more trouble than you are worth? Well, 1, I've had time to think, and my ex-girlfriend says that I have matured a lot in the last 6 months. 2, no reason. Do I have the job or what? Or number 3, it was only since I left here that I have come to realize that this is where I feel most at home. While I may have made some bad judgments in the past, I promise that I will be the best welder you have ever had. That concludes part 1 of the interview.
Okay, well, thank you very much, DS. And you can read along by turning the page on the computer, which is a metaphorical statement. But we do want to thank DS1 for helping us keep up with the Mels. Hey, Mel, great podcast. Hey, talk to you later.